Since we're finally in the Barbenheimer week, talking about Barbie, talking about Oppenheimer, I think it's time to talk about the Oscar chances for both of the films because they both can compete very highly with each other during the Oscars, and it'll be crazy to see what will happen between them. First up, I want to talk about Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, I think, is going to get 10 Oscar nominations. It could even get 11, but that last category, I don't think it will get. But the first category is, of course, Best Actor. Come on. It's Cillian Murphy. His performance is absolutely mesmerizing in here. He just brings on the role of Robert Oppenheimer in a way that no one else could have done. I think that he will get nominated for this, and I think that there's like a 90% chance that he's going to win it. His only competition coming up this year is going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, Joaquin Phoenix, maybe Bradley Cooper if those movies still come out because of the strike. But Cillian Murphy, he's just outstanding in this movie. And his eyes just bring so much emotion to the screen. The close-ups on him, absolutely stunning. Then we got Best Picture. This is, of course, going to get nominated for Best Picture. If you didn't think that, then what are you even talking about? This movie is literally getting such good reviews from all critics. Has like a 90 on Metacritic, 95, 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, high on IMDb. All of the audiences are loving this film. It's getting praise from everyone. I think this film is pretty much a masterpiece. I've seen it 2 times. I want to go a couple more times to really get my thoughts in. But it's just an insane picture. It's an insane biopic. My new favorite biopic. It really has a likeness of The Social Network, I think. It kind of seems the same, because it's kind of built the same, but very longer. Next up is Best Director. Christopher Nolan is one to be known for getting snubbed for Best Director. I think he's only been nominated for Best Director 2 times, and I don't think he's won it at all, which is really disappointing. You know, Christopher Nolan is an excellent director. Everyone knows this. Everyone agrees, and he's great at his craft, and he doesn't direct a bad movie, I don't think. The Following is pretty average for me, but it's not bad. I think that he's going to get a Best Director nom for this, and I think he deserves it because his directing was flawless in this movie. He knew what to do in each scene, and he made it all flow so well. I think another nomination that's going to get is Best Supporting Actor. Robert Downey Jr., what a powerhouse in this movie. Robert Downey Jr. basically came back and said, yeah, I can act. I can really act after Dolittle in like 2020, I think that was. I saw that film. It was horrible. Robert Downey Jr. was not good in it. But really, he came back with the force, and he was goddamn excellent. I was like kind of worried that people were really overselling him in this movie, but no, they weren't overselling him at all. He played Strauss so perfectly. He was so menacing and so hateful because that's basically how Strauss was. He was hateful against Oppenheimer for what he humiliated him for, and it's kind of horrible. But Robert Downey Jr. did excellent, and I think the supporting actor race was huge last year. I think it's going to be even bigger this year. Best Sound, this is going to get nominated for Best Sound. We all know it. If you've been to a theater and saw an IMAX, you know your ears are just going to get blasted over and over again. Ludwig Göransson, he did the score in this one. That kind of brings me to the next one. It's going to get nominated for Best Score. Ludwig, I think this is best score of all time. It's the best score of the year, I think, competing with Spider-Verse so far. They're my 2 top scores. This score is probably one of my favorites in a Nolan film because it fits so with the biopic. It's kind of chilling in a lot of ways, but kind of relaxing in many other ways. It's got a lot of strings in the score. Not a lot of guitar like in Tenet, which Ludwig did, because this is kind of a period piece. You know, it takes back to the 1940s, 1930s, even I think some of the 20s. So that's where that kind of stands. And I think the sound nomination is going to be even better for this because Nolan did the sound way better on this than in Tenet, I think. And the sound during the scenes of the bomb, leading up to the bomb, even during the trial scenes, it was excellent. Oh my goodness, so good. That brings me to the next one, Best Editing. This is, of course, going to get nominated for editing. I think this is some of the best editing of the year so far. It's only July when I'm recording this, because I'm recording this right after Oppenheimer came out, and the editing here is really fast, but I think it works so well for what this movie is trying to do with its 3-hour runtime. It's trying to fit a lot in its 3-hour runtime, and it really does by really getting the editing going very fast-paced. And I think that really does help keep the audience really engaged. It helped me get engaged a lot more, as well as the dialogue help keep me really engaged. But the editing really flowed so fast. So it was like there. A lot of different scenes kept happening. You flash back to other actors when they're talking about them, which I really liked, because sometimes I'm forgetting about the characters that they're talking about, but they flash back and showed you a quick little image of them. This is going to get nominated for Best Cinematography. Hoyte van Hoytema, he got basically robbed last year. He didn't get nominated for Nope, which I thought had excellent cinematography by him. But this cinematography is like 10 times better, I think. It's kind of like the nonchalant cinematography, not too show-offy, I guess you could say, cinematography. But I think the cinematography works so well for the movie this is. It's just a straight up biopic about Oppenheimer. The bomb scene has some of the greatest shots of the year, I think. And the gymnasium scene, if you've seen it, good God, the way it's shot, the way it's edited in that scene, I think that just shows the best editing of the year, and I think the best cinematography of the year so far. I think the only thing that could rival this for cinematography later this year would be Killers of the Flower Moon and Dune Part 2. I think those are the only two movies that are going to be big going against Oppenheimer in its big nominations. But yeah, I don't know about those movies. Warner Bros. Said they might delay Dune Part 2. I don't think they should, because it could be a big Oscar contender, but we'll see. My last two ones, Best Adapted Screenplay. I think this is Nolan's best screenplay in any of his movies to date. I think it works so well. That's why I kind of compare it to The Social Network, because this movie's screenplay is very dense and it goes by very fast. Everyone's talking so fast, talking about different sciences, different like kind of ways to talk about a bomb that I wasn't understanding a lot on first watch. But then I watched it again and I'm like, okay, you're getting me here, Oppenheimer. I'm figuring out what you're trying to say here. But the screenplay is actually very smart screenplay for a Christopher Nolan film, because sometimes his screenplays are smart, but I feel like some moments are dumbed down by some of the screenplay for different characters. But I think this one was excellent. Some of the best screenplay of the year so far. I don't think, actually, I do think it could win Adapted, because I think the only one of my screenplays this year that I think is better is Past Lives, but that's original, so they're two different categories. So I think Oppenheimer, I think it could get the win later next year when it basically goes up against another movie for this award. And the last one I say for Oppenheimer would be Best Production Design. I think this one is also not as show-offy as other movies that are going to be basically nominated for production design, especially Barbie. This one, Oppenheimer's not going to win production design at all, but I think it's going to get nominated just because of the real sets that they made for this film. It's kind of mind-blowing how everything just looks so realistic and so real, because that's what Christopher Nolan is going for in this movie, which I respect him a lot, because he just goes for realness, no CGI in the film. You can tell by the bomb. He made the bomb. They made the bomb with different like scientific elements, which I really appreciate. But the production design was out of this world. So I think Oppenheimer will get 10 Oscar nominations. And I feel like that's a lot for a movie called Oppenheimer, a straight up 3-hour biopic, rated R. Like, no one was expecting this. I mean, we were expecting a big ass movie from Christopher Nolan, but no one was expecting this. But now we move on to Barbie. Barbie, I'm predicting it to get about 6 or 7 Oscar nominations. First up, I think it maybe could get into Best Picture. It really depends how many more movies we have coming out this year and how good those movies are, because a lot of people saw award movies at Cannes, and a lot of people said that those movies were great and they're probably going to get nominated for Best Picture, but I haven't seen those movies yet, so I can't talk about them yet. It really does depend how big of competition we have for the next 5-6 months of the year. A lot of movies could get delayed because of the strike, but a lot of award movies maybe just will stay because they could fight for awards. Barbie is just a national phenomenon right now, which I'm very excited about. So I think its chances of getting in Best Picture are really high. Best Director, on the other hand, I don't think that it's going to make it into Best Director, since there's only 5 spots. So I don't have that in a lock for now, because it's just not really in the region of Best Director. Sure, I love Greta Gerwig, but I don't think this is her best directing at all. I think Little Women and Lady Bird have better at directing than this movie. But Best Picture, I do want it to get in the Best Picture, and I really do think it can. It would probably be in like the 9th or 10th spot for me, but I still would put it in Best Picture. Best Adapted Screenplay, I think this is going to be like Oppenheimer and get into Best Adapted Screenplay. A lot of people have been talking about this and saying that we don't know if Barbie's going to be an original or adapted. I think it's going to get an adapted. It's based off a product, kind of like a franchise toy, so I would say that's adapted. It's not really an original idea. I mean, the story kind of is original idea. What it's based off of really isn't an original idea, so I think it will get an adapted screenplay because that's where it belongs. Well, I do think the script it's hilarious how Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach made it, and it has a lot of powerful themes, and it has a lot of strong feelings in the script that a lot of people in my audience have really just connected with emotionally. So I think adapted screenplay is pretty much a lock for this movie. I don't think it's gonna win adapted screenplay. I think Oppenheimer has a better chance at winning it for now before other movies do come out, but I think Barbie will get nominated for best screenplay. There's no way it doesn't. Best song, I think this is one of its best shots right here. I don't know how many songs they can basically submit to the Oscars for a nomination, but if they were to submit one, you gotta submit Ryan Gosling's I'm Just Ken. Like, if you're not gonna submit that one, what are you doing? I mean, a lot of people have been talking about Billie Eilish's song, but I didn't think that was anything special, and it was hardly in the movie, just at the end for like 30 seconds to a minute. I'm Just Ken was a whole song. It was like a whole music video in the movie, and I've been listening to that on repeat. I think Ryan Gosling, he just brought his whole La La Land acting with him for this movie and just did so well singing that song, brought so much emotion to it, so much Kenergy to it, as we like to say. And I think that he should also perform this at the Oscars. He would just get such a nice round of applause by everyone in the audience. If he performed this at the Oscars, everyone would just be shocked probably watching him perform this. But I think it's a front runner right now. You know, it's a comedy movie, it's a comedic song, but Ryan Gosling, he just knows how to sing it and he knows how to bring it across. And I think its lyrics are actually pretty smart, but actually pretty funny. So I think it's going to get nominated, and I think it has a big chance of winning. I mean, people are talking about Peaches from Mario Brothers. Sure, it's a catchy song, but it's nowhere as good as I'm Just Ken, because Ryan Gosling can sing, man. He was in La La Land. He can sing his heart out. I think this is going to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor also. Ryan Gosling is, of course, going to get nominated for this. If he doesn't, it's going to be a travesty. And I think that a lot of people are going to riot, including me, because how do you not nominate Ryan Gosling for this role? He was the MVP of this movie, and he kind of took over the movie by the second half of it, especially when they went into the real world and he just discovered so many things. Like, Ryan Gosling's facial reactions are just hysterical in any movie, especially The Nice Guys, which is very underrated. If you haven't seen it, he's so great in that. But his comedic timing is so off the charts in this movie. It's absolutely insane. And he just knows how to deliver his lines in this script. A lot of people do deliver their lines great in the script, but I think Ryan Gosling just delivers his lines so much better because he's just a fantastic actor. He's been acting for so long. He does so many different roles. If you've seen his movies, Blade Runner 2049, Drive, they're more of his serious roles. La La Land, kind of more serious drama. He kind of has comedy aspects in it with being a musical. And then this is more of a deep down comedy, just like The Nice Guys. So it's just adding to his resume of more comedy films, serious films. And I bet he'll do another musical before he stops acting because I think he's great in it. And he's going to do more action films next year with The Fall Guy, and he did an action film last year with The Gray Man. I think he really is doing a great job at building up his career with doing many different genres and doing multiple movies in those genres, which I really celebrate. You know, when an actor can do each drama very well and just build off those different movies in that genre, I think it's just a great time to celebrate those actors that can really bring that across. But Ryan Gosling, I don't know if anyone could have done a better job as Ken in this movie. I mean, Simu from Shang-Chi, he's one of the different Kens. I think he does a great job, but I don't think he could have been the leading Ken. You know, Ryan Gosling, Greta Gerwig says she wrote this role for Ryan Gosling, and I think that she did a perfect job at writing it for him. She did collaborate with Noah Baumbach on this. I'm not sure how big the collaboration was in the script process, but they did a great job with writing his parts as Ken, and Ryan Gosling just brought it across so well. So Ryan Gosling is going to get nominated for supporting actor, and I cannot wait to see the debates going around of Robert Downey Jr. versus Ryan Gosling. It's going to be insane. Second to last nomination I'm going to give for Barbie would be production design. Yeah, can we just talk about the production design of this movie? Barbie Land is absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. Some of it's miniatures, some of it's just an actual set that they built. And we even heard stories about it was filming during Fast X, was also filming, and the actors from Fast X came over on their breaks just to look at the set and just walk around on it. I mean, John Cena is also in both movies, so he probably had a fun time being on both sets, which is kind of cool. But it's just awesome to see other actors from different movies visiting the set because of how beautiful it is. And the set design crew of this movie, just give them a round of applause for making this set. It probably was a lot of fun making the set too, because you have a lot of collaborations with Greta Gerwig, who just absolutely loved making the film. From every interview I've seen from her, this is like her passion project. She just really wanted to make it. So I bet she had a lot of time basically making the set with the set designers, and she collaborated with them a lot, I bet. But I think the set design, it has a lot of pink in it, a lot of colors, but it works so well because that's the point. It's a Barbie movie. Barbie Land has a lot of pink, has a lot of different, like, just fake objects in it that just look very real, but also look very plasticky at the same time. So I think it works a lot. And then they go into the real world. There's a lot of different sets in there, but the way they traverse through the real world into Barbie Land, I think those are the best sets because they're so simplistic and look so fake, but I think they work so well for a Barbie movie because it's just a plasticky movie about plastic dolls. So production design, I think it's a lock for a nomination. And even if it's July right now, I think it's going to win production design. If it doesn't, I'll be surprised to see who else could win it. But my last nomination for Barbie would be Best Costume Design. I think that this is like production design, and I think it will basically win it because the costumes on this one are just like production design. So perfect, so many colors popping out at once. Everyone is wearing a different costume. All the Barbies switch so perfectly. They're all wearing a different costume every day, it looks like. Seen this movie twice so far, and I just love the picks that the costume designers went for this one. Everything is bright, but I don't think too bright, and everything stands out, but not too much. Especially what the Kens are wearing. There's a scene where the Kens are wearing all black, but it fits so well because the production design in the background is all colorful, so they're basically popping out because they're wearing all black, and that's the only scene where they're wearing all black, and it fits so well because it's during a song. But then after that, all the Kens are wearing different colors, and you even have Ryan Gosling wearing some ridiculous things on him, but it fits so well because of the Barbie movie, and it's a little messy at times, but I think that also fits so well because even if you've had a Barbie, and I can imagine people having Barbies. I never had a Barbie, but I imagine people who have a Barbie, they would dress them up as messy as they can sometimes, but they would also dress them up as perfect as they can sometimes. So I think that it works both ways for this movie. Some costumes in this movie are like perfect, shining, just perfection. Some costumes are pretty messy, but they also look perfect at the same time because that's how you would dress up a doll. You dress it up how you want. You know, it just looks so flamboyant, but also so kind of like awesome to look at. And I think all these costumes in this movie were awesome to look at. So I think this one will get nominated for costume design, and it will win. Overall, I want to talk about both these movies just doing excellent. The box office is crazy, and it's just a great weekend. Probably one of the best weekends in cinema that I'm ever going to experience. And I rated both these movies very high on my channel. Check out their reviews. But I had an excellent time with both these movies, and I cannot wait to see what they win during the Oscar season next year. And I cannot wait to talk about it even more later this year. I think that Oppenheimer will get nominated for 10 Oscars, and I think Barbie will get nominated for 7. That's my prediction right now. Leave your guys' predictions down in the comments down below. I'm really interested to see what you think each one will get nominated for at next year's Oscars. Even though it's early, I love having these talks with you guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. I post almost every day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.